Ciao Pamela. Allora, cosa è successo? Oh no. Cosa è successo? No, non volevo fare quello. Allora, perché sono... Dove sono? Eccoci qua. Ok, ecco. Ciao Pamela. Mi senti? Forse no. Ah, okay. Says that you're still connecting to the audio. Okay, so it'll just be probably a little longer. Eccola qua. Ciao,
Ciao,
come stai?
bene, grazie. E tu?
Io sto bene. Sono un po' malata in questi giorni. Ho la febbre. I had a fever on Sunday, but now
Uh-oh.
I'm feeling a lot better. I think like because I work with a nonprofit and I go to this elementary school and help, like kids read. They're like five
Yep.
years old. I feel like that they carry everything, and so it's like I don't know. I think I get everything that they have.
They're germ factories.
I know, even with like, hey, put on some hand sanitizer.
This one nurse was saying, she said it's amazing how many colds and sore throats and everything. She goes, these kids are in masks now. Why are they still getting colds and sore throats and everything?
Yeah.
Because they're kids.
I have a feeling it's because, like, I know the kids that I work with, like, half the time they keep their masks down. You always have to continue to be like, okay, put your mask on. And then when they're out in recess, I mean, how can you keep them from touching?
You can't, and that's ridiculous to think that they're going to.
Yeah, I know. Like, I kind of, did a whenever I heard that the school that I work for was going back, to normal classes with everybody in the same class, and I had some teachers, they were just like, I have no idea how I'm gonna keep like all the desks 3 feet apart.
You're not.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. So far it seems like it's been fine where I think there's just been like one kid so far since they made the change that tested positive for COVID. So it still seems like, parents are trying their best as well, to keep them I guess sanitary.
I just couldn't figure out why, with so few weeks left of school, that they even bothered to do that to the kids. It's such a huge transition.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a feeling that they were thinking about the older kids who, like last year, didn't get to do prom or graduate, and things like that. That's what I'm going to guess anyway.
Yeah. But are they doing any of that this year?
Actually, you know what? I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I don't attend those meetings because, like I just work with the elementary school, and so I'm just whatever. As long as I'm updated, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, exactly. Just tell me what I need to know. No more, no less.
Yeah. So tonight, Pamela, I don't know. We'll see who shows up, but I know, and I'll also wait to discuss this with everybody else. I think Jeannie and Courtney at least are going to be able to make it tonight. Janine messaged me and said that it'll be pretty hard for her to be able to be on, given, the circumstances with her husband.
Yeah. Did she say how he's doing?
She has not. I'm hoping that once she messages me back, she'll let me know. But I'm hoping that he's doing better. I talked to her even after class last week, and it just doesn't seem like a great situation, like
journey. It's a journey.
Yeah. So I feel like it might be a couple more weeks before, she'll be able to be here. Ciao, Jeannie.
Ciao. Yeah, I was thinking about Janine. Va bene. E tu?
Sì, sto bene, grazie.
Yeah. So he's not, is he still in the hospital?
I am not sure. As far as I know, he will be in the hospital for a while. She said that's one of the reasons why it's kind of hard for her to log on to these sessions, because she has to like rush home and stuff. They can, because I guess like if she's not there with him after, I think like 6 o'clock, if she's not there, they shut it down and she can't get back in or something.
You're only,
Well, at least-
I don't know where he's at, but most of them only let you come in once a day. And once you leave, you're done. And I gotta tell you, I mean, this is no slam against nurses, but I don't think we got $8,000 a day worth of anything.
Mhm.
And, you know, and everybody says, well, you know, you should be grateful this and that. No, I'm sorry. I was not happy the first time he was in 2 years ago. And I thought, okay, different hospital.
Right.
I'm not impressed. And I just, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And they say, well, you know, they've got all this paperwork to do. Well, they also have PSAs, and, you know, if you're not 100% on it, you don't know what kind of care they're getting. I mean, there were times where I thought to myself, I wonder if they ever go, didn't we have somebody in room 55? You know, has anyone checked out?
Well, I know that there was a shortage of nurses for a while where they
Yeah.
said that they just couldn't keep up. Like there weren't enough to go around. And so everybody was just, the nurses that were there, they like, I have a couple friends like that are nurses, and they just said,
Yep.
especially now, it's just
So
where,
burned out too, I bet, right?
yeah, so burned
Yeah.
out. Like one of them ended up quitting his job for a while, or taking like, I
Yeah.
think like a 6 months leave or something like that, just because he said it's just at this point it's just not a good place to be.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him, because
Oh, it is, but it's just, you know, when you've got people who are in critical care, and you're like, how many times am I gonna call you?
yeah.
Right.
You know? How many times am I gonna ask you for those pain meds?
Yeah.
And oh wait, you forgot this and you forgot that, and you're like,
It's frustrating. It would be very frustrating. You can see it from both sides for sure.
Yeah, it's just,
well, they're gonna feel it too, because trust me, I got it all written down, and it's like, oh, you want this paid? I'll get to that.
I honestly feel like things would be better if, you know, we had a universal healthcare set up. I know it's almost impossible in the US because we're so big, but I feel like that it would make things better
Yeah.
in some ways.
Like we kind of weren't even prepared for, well, you were saying, Pamela, that even 2 years ago, before the
Yep.
pandemic, you were
Yep.
having issues. So that's not right, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was, you know, and that's, like I say, it's just when you look at what our healthcare is now versus what it used to be, you're like, geez, sometimes you feel like you're in third world healthcare here. You know?
Mm.
Well, I'm hopeful he's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it was not part of her retirement plan, I'm sure, nor his. So
Nope.
that's
Yeah.
very difficult.
I'm sure that if she's able to hop on tonight, she'll give us an update.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have to give you guys an update on this class, because I think that this has been like the roughest period for people in this class. I got an email from Julie a couple weeks ago saying that she's just overwhelmed with what's going on at her house, that she just is not able to make it very often. Brad this week also told me that he's been overwhelmed with work and studying, and I'm not sure everything that he's doing, but they basically just said if you can just send the videos of the class, we
They'll hop
might
on when
try
they
to
can.
make it. Yeah, we might try
Yeah.
to make it, but it's just a really bad period for us. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys know about Debbie, and so my thought is that we will continue doing the class.
Yeah.
If it's just like either the two of you or Courtney and Janine. I know Janine said that once she's able to be back, like she'll be here. I hope that this doesn't take away from the experience of being in a class, because this is a very weird, I don't know, session for me. I've never had
It's a weird year again.
it is.
Yeah.
It's just a weird year. And so
Again.
on one side, I want to say it is advantageous when there are fewer of you, because we can focus on things that you guys need help with more.
Yeah.
More time for you guys to speak. And then apart from that, I mean, some of the disadvantages, right, is that you don't feel like that you're a part of like a class though. So I just want to
It's
make
okay.
sure. Yeah, I just want to make sure that
It's
you
okay.
guys are fine with that. Hopefully, like I said, Courtney usually is here. She might hop in at any point, and Janine. So it probably will just be like the four of us,
Yeah.
with them maybe popping in when they can. But
I
probably,
feel like that would be the same even if we were in a class, like,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
and in fact, this is probably easier for some people, like Courtney. She probably couldn't come at all
Yeah.
if she had to physically go someplace. And once her kids kind of settle in or her husband gets home or something, she can pop in. And
Yeah. And that's,
so,
and they said this, like, because this is my first year with the school, but they said that normally this is also a very weird year for them. And so,
yeah, oh, I bet.
yeah. And so it's just, again, like, I think that we're all just trying to kind of run with it, whatever happens.
What are you going to do?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
So again, I just wanted to let you guys know, like update you on that, and hopefully it's not going to be an issue. If there's ever like a time where nobody can make it to class, well, obviously, like we can just push it back like a week. That
Yeah.
won't be an issue. But that's basically the biggest thing that I foresee, is that if there's like a week that nobody can make it, I'll just be like, okay, well, we'll just wait until next week. But hopefully that won't be a problem.
Yeah.
And
Can you tell us a little bit what the summer things are like?
yeah, so
I was just curious.
did you guys, I don't know, I need to send a message to Rosa, because she told me that she was going to update me whenever they scheduled all of that stuff. But she said for the summertime, they'll have review courses. And then I'll be doing year one, session 1, 2, and 3 again, but as a boot camp. So the review is basically like, you guys will probably want to pick, right, review for year 1, where it's just basically you'll be meeting, if I remember correctly, 2 times a week, where you'll be going over just the things that you learned with me, but just, right, reinforcing these things. Because again, like the amount of information that we go over in these classes is quite a bit. And so it's really helpful to have a review course, because again, it prepares you for whenever we start doing year 2 and the sessions that will continue. And then as far as I know, there might just be 1 session for summer. It just kind of depends on how many people are interested. But right now, as what I've understood, is enrollment is much lower than what it usually is, just because, again, given the circumstances. So if you guys are interested possibly in continuing through the summer, we also offer private tutoring, or a lot of times, like if it's something like your group, for example, might be interested, we do offer, couple tutoring or things like that. Like if you guys, the price, right, per person goes down, I think by $5 a piece, depending on how much tutoring that you do on your own. So there
Just
are
talk with each other? We just chat? Or try to chat?
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, it would basically be
Maybe fun.
yeah, it would be trying to find like more exercises, more things, to do to practice the things that we've learned, so that whenever session 2 starts, then right, you'll be much more prepared for whenever that happens. But I would say that even just with the review during the summer, that should be good, as long as, you guys are feeling comfortable with working on your own. if you're not, again, there's that option that if you might want to do some private tutoring over the summer until the new session starts in the fall, that's always a possibility. So if you guys are interested in something like that, private tutoring starts at $35 an hour, and then you go from there. I think like with each person that's added to it, it's $5 less. So for like 2 people tutoring, it would be, you know, like 30 a piece that way kind of thing. But again, it just depends on what you guys are interested in. Usually the school is happy to work with whatever. So
What do? You're teaching a boot camp?
yes.
So not any, you're not going to be in a review class
Yeah,
or anything.
so Rosa will be doing the review. Rosa is the other teacher. She is, she's been with the school for the last 5 years. So she's kind of the main person now. Like the person that I replaced was kind of, right, she did a lot of it, but she, you know, went on to bigger and better things. And so for now, yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing session, just the year 1 session, 1 through 3. And then hopefully we'll see what happens for the fall time. So hopefully by fall, I should be able to start a new session, year 2, session 1. But if that's not the case, if we don't have enough enrollment, probably what you guys might have to do is be absorbed by one of Rose's classes. But again, we'll see. As far as her teaching style, I honestly don't know anything about it. But you know, she's been doing this for 5 years, so I would imagine that it's also a pretty, you know, pretty fun experience. She seems pretty cool, knows a lot. She's native too, so you know, it also, to me, there are advantages to working with a native as well, just because, right, you get to hear more of the pronunciation. There's certain things that she'll definitely be able to explain a little bit better than I can, whereas sometimes I can explain better. You know, I can sometimes explain things better than what she can, just because, right, I've learned all of these things that you guys have questions about. So that's kind of what the school has in mind, is where I'm kind of here for beginner, intermediate, and she's more intermediate advanced, because the more that you advance, it's nicer to be with a native. Yeah. So anyway, I can keep you guys updated as we go.
Okay.
I can assure you that there will be options. Excuse me, I've been sick this week too, so I'm recovering from a cold. But with all of that in mind, we can go ahead and get started.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask, first of all, about the homework. How did you guys? Oh, did you guys think it was a lot?
No, it wasn't. Only kidding. Only kidding.
My main question, I guess, would be here. Like I said, like there are some of extra irregular verbs that were part of the homework that you didn't have to do. But did you have any questions with these?
I always have trouble with and it's just like in my head, like the boy and Lauro, when is, you know, like I'm looking at number 1, but number 2 of number 1, and I put fate instead of fano, but it's fano.
Okay, yeah. Enrica e sua madre fanno spese. So we're looking at
like they do
you
this.
Or they.
Yeah.
Is it you or they?
Right. It's they. Mm-hmm. But why did I put you?
Because you will confuse. I don't know why it happens. It happens very often with English learners. You will confuse loro and you plural a lot, like a lot. It's just normal. I cannot tell you a way to really, you know, like think about the difference. It's just something that happens over time. So if you did make that mistake, just know that usually English speakers learning a Romance language, they confuse it all the time. Yeah.
feel better.
Yeah. Pamela, did you have any questions about these?
I think it was number 4 that I made myself crazy over.
Oh yeah. And this was also because, right, like it's not one of the irregular verbs that we've looked at. So again, like you didn't have to do number 4, but yeah, danno is the way that you would conjugate. And we will eventually get to these other regular verbs. But again, just trying to expose you guys to the ones that are the most common.
So is the clue on that that I'm using they, the fact that it's plural professors?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, because I did the you all, and I did make myself a little crazy over it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it too. You know, that a good clue.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and we don't have to spend too much time on these. I do want to jump down to number 4, numero 4, just to see how you guys did here.
All right, let's see.
And this you just had to use fare, so I thought that was a little bit easier.
Yeah. So for number 4, I had fa, like
Numero 4.
C,
Ah,
but that's not correct.
if it were not a question, it would be correct. But with the question, this is just right. As you do more of these exercises, you'll be like, oh yeah, that would be more of a you thing, like with the question. Maria, common, right? Fai colazione tutte le mattine. So it's just, again, like once you understand that form and the exercise, it's usually when you see like a name and then a comma, it's indicating you instead of the he or she. Ciao, Courtney.
Ciao, how is everyone?
Bene.
Bene. Tu
Good.
invece?
I think it would be fare. How would I say I? Faccio? Sick?
Oh, sei malata. Anch'io.
Malata. Yeah,
Anch'io
see.
sono un po' malata, sì.
See.
Courtney, I can fill you in. I just talked to Jeannie and Pamela about a few things. So if you have a little bit of time after class,
I absolutely do.
I'll fill you in, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Prego.
Grazie.
Allora, is there something else here? We good? Okay. And the last thing, allora, l'ultima cosa di cui vorrei vedere per I compiti. So the last thing I'd like to see for homework is numero 6. Because we had discussed, right, these differences between uscire, andare, e venire. So I just wanted to see how you guys, if maybe my notes that I wrote in the email helped a little bit.
Well. Well,
Pamela.
Here it is, right here.
Allora, perché non facciamo facciamo questo insieme. We're gonna do it together. Pero con numero 1. I tried to make it a little bit like where, right, like we have these little options up here too. We got A and B, and we're talking about vacation. So, un volontario. Qualcuno vuole? Ok, vai, Jeannie.
Luca, dove vai in vacanza l'estate promessa?
Uh-huh. Brava.
Io and Marcello andiamo in Grecia.
In Grecia.
Grecia.
Brava, esatto. Allora, numero 2. Forse il numero 2. Un po' difficile, no? Un volontario?
So
Mhm.
I sought out another video and it did help me a little bit, but
Okay.
Maria e la mia fidanzata, noi usciamo
Mhm.
insieme da un anno.
Brava, brava. Sì, esatto. Quando parli di fidanzamento, no? Relazioni. We go out. I've been going out with this person, right? Uscire. Si usa uscire.
So
Brava.
in the video, it said that it's not indicating movement, so that it's like hanging out, socializing. It's
Mhm.
not actually moving from place to place, where andare is more you're moving from here to there.
Exactly.
Okay. Make sure I was interpreting that.
Andare is more about movement, whereas uscire is more about like, yes, hanging
Okay.
out or even leaving. So there is a little bit of movement in uscire, but yes, it also means other things. Allora, numero 3. Let me just go. I can go ahead and show this to you guys too. So Marco, say vai in palestra domani sera. Io con te. What do you guys think?
Bingo.
Vengo.
Yeah.
Vengo.
Yeah, bingo.
Vengo con te. Like if you go to the gym tomorrow, I'll come with you. Like I'm gonna come with you. No mi dispiace, domani sera non. Oops, I forgot to add this one in. What did you guys put? Non.
I couldn't come up with that one.
Had a big blank also.
Yeah. Vado, non vado, non vado. Because he's like responding to like, if you go to the gym, I'll come with you. And he's like, oh, well, I'm not going tomorrow.
Okay.
Devo studiare. Per numero 4. Numero 4.
Andate. Ragazze, come andate in discoteca?
In macchina o in Vespa? In Vespa, ovviamente, sì. E numero 5.
Isabella non esce.
Esatto, non esce. Spesso con gli amici, ma
Viene.
viene sempre a casa mia. I would even say that honestly, in like everyday talking, you know, the colloquial like speaking voice, probably, right? They're gonna mix some of this stuff up. But again, it's something that just comes more naturally over time. And that's why I keep on saying, as long as you're conjugating things right, like you're seeing like, oh, I should put vado because io, or I should put vengo because io, that kind of thing, that matters to me more now. Because if you're speaking with an Italian and you say vado con te invece di vengo con te, it's not really going to change the significance that much. Does that make sense?
Yes. They'll catch our drift. They'll understand.
Esatto. Right. Allora, Adesso andiamo qua. Che tempo fa oggi? Oggi che tempo fa?
C'è vento.
C'è
Oh
vento?
no, e piove.
Sì,
E
piove,
c'è vento.
però sì, c'è vento, sì.
Sì.
Fa freddo.
Fa freddo. Sì, un po' freddo, sì. Adesso sì. Bene. E domani? Che tempo fa domani?
Piove,
Ah,
piove, piove, piove.
esatto, piove. Anche venerdì piove. Mamma mia, ma piove. Piove tutti i giorni. So it's gonna rain all week, basically. Allora, bene. I was gonna have us do this activity, but I'll save it for the end if we have time, because I would like for us to do a little bit more with fare, no? Le espressioni con fare. Sì, oddio. Allora, vediamo qua se riuscite a riconoscere o capire dove mettiamo queste cose qua. Allora, numero 8. Numero
Fare.
8?
Do you want us to conjugate it or just
No.
fare shopping?
Mhm.
Fare shopping?
Esatto, fare shopping. Numero 8, con tutti questi, no, sacchetti dei negozi. Poi qua sembra che c'è una festa. Che cos'è il numero 4?
Fare festa.
Fare festa,
Esatto, sì, fare festa. Poi qua abbiamo un carrello e ci sono verdure, la frutta. Cos'è il numero 3?
Fare la doccia?
La spesa, fare la spesa.
Esatto, fare la spesa. Fare la spesa. Brava Gini.
Well, I knew if it wasn't one, it was the other, so.
Esatto, sì. Allora, poi questo qua, numero 2, c'è un po' di latte con cereali, si mangia con un cucchiaio. Che cos'è il numero 2?
Fare la doccia.
Allora, non è fare la doccia. Non è fare la doccia.
No.
La colazione.
Esatto, fare
Sì,
colazione. Sì, esatto. Poi abbiamo numero 6 con questi. Che cos'è il numero 6?
fare domanda.
Esatto, fare domande. Anche questo qua è facile, no? Numero 5.
Fare fotografia?
Esatto, fare fotografie. E numero 7?
Fare passeggiate?
Esatto, ho fatto un errore, ragazze, scusate. Fare una passeggiata. Esatto. E quindi cosa vuol dire? Cos'è
La
fare la
doccia.
doccia? Sì, esatto, fare la doccia. La doccia. Bravissime. Allora, visto che parliamo di fare, vi ricordate come coniugare il verbo fare? Io
Faccio?
faccio. Tu?
Fa,
Tu?
fai, fai,
Fai.
Esatto, fai. Lui, lei?
Fa.
Fa. Noi?
facciamo.
Facciamo, esatto. Voi?
Fate.
E finalmente loro?
Fanno.
Fanno.
Fanno, esatto. Bravissime! Ah, Perché dovete fare questo? Allora, perché guarda, adesso con un partner dovete rispondere a queste domande e poi dovete anche coniugare i verbi nel modo appropriato, ok? Allora, quindi facciamo numero 1 insieme. So let's do number 1 together, ok? Gini, puoi leggere?
Cosa fai quando il frigorifero è vuoto? È
Mm,
vuoto?
è vuoto, è vuoto.
Frigorifero?
Ah, il
Um,
frigorifero.
frigorifero.
Mhm.
Frigorifero.
Cosa fai? Allora, questo vuol dire se la domanda è cosa fai, allora io.
Faccio
Mhm.
shopping.
Esatto, io faccio shopping. Mhm. Esatto. And honestly, this I feel like you guys don't even have to do it in, like in group work. If you guys just want to go and read down and do
Okay,
your own.
I can read number 2.
Okay, numero 2, vai.
Cosa fa il tuo partner dopo fa ginnastica?
Mhm.
Pamela?
Oh, a partner. Oh, scusate. In questo caso, partner vuol dire tipo partner of life. Life partner. Ah.
So what do I don't understand what I asked. I'm sorry.
Cosa fa il tuo partner dopo fa ginnastica?
So,
Cosa
okay,
fa?
so
Okay.
Allora, dobbiamo scegliere. What happens right after a workout? You're like, ooh.
Fa
See?
fa las. Oh no, I got that wrong earlier. Fa la doccia.
Esatto, fa la doccia. Sì, fa la doccia. If I can. And yeah, just do 3 through 6. I'll give you guys a couple minutes and then we can check. And if you have questions, obviously let me know if you don't understand something. Ok, finito?
Sì.
Ok. Quindi, vuoi fare il numero 3?
Io?
Mhm.
Oh. Cosa fanno gli studenti quando non capiscono la lezione? Gli studenti fanno domande?
Brava, esatto, fanno domande. Esatto, brava. Numero 4, Pamela, vuoi leggere?
Oh, I the last word in there, compleanno, I just can't seem to.
Compleanno vuol dire
Compleanno.
birthday. Birthday. Mhm.
Oh, cosa fate tu e il tuo partner per il compleanno? Facciamo festa?
Esatto, brava, facciamo festa. Numero 5, Courtney?
I'm here. Cosa faccio quando ho fame? Di mattina oh no, sorry. Noi facciamo colazione.
Allora, sì, in questo caso, aspetta un attimo. Allora, cosa?
Oh, I answered to the wrong one. I messed up my numbers. That was number 4. I'm
Oh.
so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Faccio colazione.
Okay, I tried to make it to where you'd have to conjugate to you, like fai colazione. Cosa faccio quando ho fame di mattina? Fai colazione, but faccio va bene anche faccio. Non
Okay, okay.
Allora, e finalmente numero 6, cosa fai quando hai soldi da spendere?
Faccio shopping.
Esatto. Oops, I guess I did the wrong one here, didn't I? Faccio.
Is the numero uno?
Ecco.
Faccio la spesa?
Yeah, that was my fault.
Oh.
I brought the wrong one down. Sorry about
I
that.
said the wrong one. I think in the beginning I said shopping.
Oh, did you? Oh, I
Yeah.
must have. Yeah.
So it wasn't you, it was me.
Va bene lo stesso. Ok, bene, bravi. Ok. E adesso facciamo un'altra cosa. Facciamo più pratica con i verbi irregolari, no? E adesso conosciamo la nostra amica Francesca. E siamo a pagina 83. In avanti, lettera B. By the way, sometimes I add to them, so this is not in your book, but we'll get to the part that's in your book here in a second. Allora, prima di leggere, so before we read and we do that exercise, facciamo questo esercizio qua. Allora, questa ragazza si chiama Francesca. Lei ha sulla ventina e vive a Roma. Secondo voi, com'è la sua giornata tipica? Quindi leggete queste frasi e decidete com'è la sua giornata tipica. Per esempio, Francesca, secondo voi non fa mai colazione? Beve solo un caffè? Sì? No?
Sì.
Sì, è probabile, no? Ha 25 anni, allora sì, esatto. She's young. Of course she's gonna skip breakfast. Allora, poi numero 2. Pamela, vuoi leggere numero 2?
Lavora tutto il giorno. Sì.
Sì, è probabile. Sì. Ok. Numero 3. Courtney?
Esce con gli amici ogni sera. Sì.
Sì, ok. Pamela, Ginny, siete d'accordo che sì, è probabile?
Sì.
Ok. Gini, numero 4.
Passa molto tempo a casa con la sua coinquilina.
Hmm.
Non so coinquilina.
Coinquilina vuol dire roommate.
Oh,
Mhm.
no.
No?
Out
Okay.
with her friends. Maybe out with her friends.
Ok.
Non a casa.
Ok. Non è mai a casa, è probabile. E finalmente numero 5. Preferisce mangiare fuori.
Sì,
Sì, è
Sì.
probabile. Sì, dai. Una ragazzina del genere, sì, è probabile. Però lo scopriremo. So we will find out though if our predictions are right. Ok, quindi per questa parte qua, perché non lavorate insieme? Ok? This time you guys will work
Ui.
together. Now, before we dive into the text, though, let's just see if we scan through and look at things. Let's just try to get an idea of some things here. Anything you recognize? Maybe some similar words to English?
Roma.
Roma. Compagnia internazionale.
National company.
International company. Esatto.
I have a question. Lavoro.
Uh-huh.
That means she washes or to wash?
Allora, cosa vuol dire un buon lavoro?
A good job.
A good job, esatto. Un good job. In questo caso è un nome, non è un verbo, ok?
Okay.
Allora, quindi la mattina a colazione non mangia niente. Alle 6, alle 6. Cosa vuol dire alle 6? Do we remember alle 6?
Where are you guys at? I'm sorry.
I'm just scanning through. Like we're just scanning through.
Oh, Alice.
oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like at 6?
Yeah.
What do you
She takes the subway.
Mm-hmm. It's 6 in the morning. That seems very early, doesn't it? Oh goodness. Allora, bene. E I think the rest is pretty standard. I think that you guys can work on this. But of course, if you have questions, I'm here. Okay. So the verbs that you're going to use for this text is andare, avere, bere, essere, fare, uscire, e venire. As you know, they're all irregular verbs, but I believe in you. Credo a voi.
Grazie.
Prego.
Oi.
Let's do number 1 together, though, at least. Francesca, un buon lavoro in una compagnia internazionale a Roma. What do you guys
Ah,
think? Esatto. And as I'm thinking about this, I wonder if I forgot to take off the cheat sheet on the next page. Don't look at the next page. Or the next slide, I mean. Allora, dove siete? Where is everyone at?
On their way.
Trying hard.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I want. I'm here if you need me to answer anything.
What we need is the cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Yes, I think like I've done that a couple times where like I've forgotten to take the cheat sheets out before I send the PowerPoints.
I hadn't seen it that way anyway.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Is everyone mostly there? Not that I want to rush you guys, but if you're where are you guys at right now? What number?
I'm as done as I'm gonna get, I believe.
Ok, va bene? Va tutto bene? Ok, allora perché non vediamo le risposte, ok? E vediamo come cosa avete fatto. Allora,
Oops.
how did you guys do for number 5 and number 6?
Nope.
No? Okay, allora, why essere here? Now we talked about this before.
That is to be. So she is being sympathetic.
Like they are, yeah, her friends are, well, simpatiche in italiano vuol dire like fun, they're nice and like, friendly.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like simpatiche and stanca are adjectives. And what did we learn that like when you describe people with adjectives, what verb do we have to use?
Essere.
Essere, esatto. I try to think of like, you know, sometimes it's like until you guys do these exercises, it's like I don't think of everything like to remind you. So even like you guys doing this and telling me, like it's helpful to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else seemed weird or you don't know why?
On number 7, I had esce, not viene.
Okay.
Because I was looking at the cheat sheet that said con. So that's why I used
Right. So the cheat sheet with con, I think, is usually with venire, unless like I said something wrong. But yeah, uscire con noi, you know, I mean, like that might be fine. That usci or esci con
esce.
noi.
Yeah.
Esci con noi. I mean, I can't really tell you the difference is like to go out with us to the cinema. Do you normally say go out with us to the cinema? It's usually why don't you come with us to the cinema?
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
But that's something that you guys don't know, right? So again, if you use eshi here, it's not that big of an issue. It's still you're thinking, you're using things that are close, right? And that's good.
I got bere right.
Yeah.
A bere qualcosa, ok, bene. Numero 9, did you guys do fine on? Sometimes it also helps, and I mean, it's probably been so long since you guys have gone to school or been like in school that, like, you know, sometimes like I forget to even say like, hey, if you are getting caught on one of these, it's okay to even like skip it and then come back later too. Like sometimes a strategy like that also helps.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever there's a text that is this big. Okay. Bene. Ok, adesso andiamo avanti e guardiamo qua. La nostra lista di... Eccoci qua. So were our predictions correct, you think? Was there anything that was wrong?
Quattro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, quattro.
Mm-hmm.
Esatto, numero 4. Addirittura passa molto tempo a casa con la coinquilina, giusto? Uh-huh. Poi numero 5. Preferisce mangiare fuori o preferisce mangiare a casa?
Mhm. A casa.
A casa.
Esatto, a casa, sì. E poi numero 3. Esce con gli amici ogni sera?
No.
No.
No, esatto, non esce con gli amici ogni sera. Forse quando di solito? Quale giorno esce con gli amici? Mercoledì, giovedì, venerdì, sabato? Quale giorno di solito?
Sabato.
Esatto, sabato.
Mhm.
Quando ha tempo, right? Like when she has time, when she actually has time. Were you guys surprised by how much she works or how long
Sì.
her day is?
Sì.
È molto
Sì.
lunga, no? La sua
Sì.
giornata lunghissima. Mamma mia, poverina.
Non è buon lavoro.
No, non lo è, mamma mia. I actually like talked on one time, this was like maybe like a year ago. I was on a train in Milan and I started talking to this woman that says that she takes a 2-hour train ride every day to go to work. She spends 4 hours in total traveling. And I was like, why don't you find like a place that's closer? She's like, non c'è.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It was like that when I lived in New York. There were a lot of people that lived in New Jersey or Connecticut or whatever that would commute in every day.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
Crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
It is. But when you live in an area where there's not much work, you'll go where there is.
Mm-hmm.
Ok, allora. Prendiamo un grande respiro. I should start like implementing some yoga exercises as we do the class. Allora, ancora dopo di leggere. Adesso perché non facciamo risposte, no, a queste domande? Però prima di rispondere, guardiamo a queste parole che sono sottolineate, tipo dove, a che ora, come, quando, che cosa, con chi. E abbiamo queste parole simili in inglese qua, no? With whom, what time, when, where, what, how. Now I know that we have seen some of these. So some of these I know that you guys know. but some of them maybe not. So why don't we start out with one that we know? Per esempio, numero 2, a che ora? Cosa vuol dire a che ora?
At what
What
time?
time?
Esatto. At what time? What time? Mm-hmm. Numero 5. Che cosa?
Which? Nope, that wouldn't be a choice.
Well, if it's not
What?
which. Esatto. What? Esatto. But which would have been a good one to add to this, but you know, next time. Anything else that you guys know?
Con chi?
Yeah, con chi?
Con chi with whom?
Esatto, with whom? Con chi?
Dove, where?
Esatto.
Come, when?
Oh, no, aspetta, come? Allora, come non è when.
How?
Oh, how?
How.
Yeah.
E finalmente quando.
When?
And a lot of times, right, when and what time can be switched a lot. You know, you can use both a lot of times. So now for this next part, how about you guys try to come up with some sentences? And you can work together as well with this. Però per adesso facciamo numero 1 insieme. Facciamo numero 1. Dove lavora Francesca? Allora, dove lavora? Lavora
In una campagna internazionale a Roma.
Esatto. Esatto, a Roma va bene. Ok. Facciamo anche numero 2 insieme. Allora, a che ora esce di casa di mattina?
Esce di casa di mattina alle 6.
Esatto. Alle 6. Mamma mia. È troppo presto, mamma mia, alle 6. Ok. Numero 3. Come arriva al lavoro?
Lei prende la metropolitana.
Esatto. Prende la metro, va bene, la metro. La metropolitana, la metro. E per numero 4, 5 e 6 prendete qualche minuto, ok? Vi do qualche minuto. I'll give you guys a couple minutes for 4, 5, and 6. And the nice thing is, right, when you make the responses, no? Torna. Quindi la coniugazione è già fatta, no? The conjugation is already made there. Preferisce, no? anche se non avete finito. Tranquille. Allora, per numero 4, Pamela, puoi leggere numero 4?
Torna alle 22 30.
Esatto. Mhm. Così tardi, davvero tardi, no? Alle 22:30. Brava. Numero 5. Numero 5. Che cosa preferisce fare nel weekend? Preferisce?
Preferisce tranquilla a casa?
Esatto, stare tranquilla a casa, sì. E finalmente numero 6. Con chi va a ballare il sabato sera?
Va a ballare con le sue amiche.
Brava, le sue amiche. Esatto. Davvero brave! Yay! Ok. Phew. Allora, here comes the hard part, and you guys might
Oh
hate it.
no. Wait.
Però vabbè. Allora, e tu? Com'è la tua giornata tipica? O la tua tipica giornata? We can work on this together too. Again, there's only like 4 of us here, 3 of you guys, so I think it'll be fun just working on this together. Now, I went ahead and did this before, and I think there's like 14 possible sentence combinations that you can create here. Oh, yay. But I'm not asking you to do all of them, okay? Just like some of them. If you wanted to ask, right? Like either Jeannie, you want to ask Courtney or Pamela, you want to ask, like, if you guys want to ask like each other these questions, right? We have our box of, the who, what, when, where kind of thing. And then we have our different verbs. So one of the examples that I have here, right, is dove and lavorare, right? You want to ask like, well, where do you work? Dove lavori? So, right, you got to think about conjugating also in the U form, okay? Un altro esempio. Che cosa? E fare di sera. Che cosa fai di sera? So what do you do in the evening time? Yeah. So I got 2 here started for you.
So are we just supposed to ask each other questions?
Well, first I want you guys to start off by like writing them out, because
Okay.
right, you got to think about conjugating and stuff like that. So yeah, just like write maybe like 2, 3, 4 out.
Just questions. Okay.
Esatto, quindi abbiamo dove lavori, che cosa fai? Forse un altro potrebbe essere con chi? No? Con chi? Okay. So I know we only have a minute left, but I put some of these out here just so we can kind of like, all right. Did anyone come up with anything for conqui? Conqui?
Con chi mangia la cena.
That was me too.
Esatto, con chi mangi la cena? Sì, benissimo. Benissimo. Ok? Ottimo. Quando?
Quando torna la casa.
Ok,
A casa.
esatto, quando torni a casa. Or if we're talking about if you're speaking in the formal too, esatto, quando torna a casa, no? Quando torna a casa. A che ora?
A che ora esci di casa en la mattina?
Sì, va bene. A che ora esci di casa? Mhm. Bene. Dove?
Dove mangi la cena?
Dove mangi la cena? È una domanda. Sì, è una domanda giusta, no? E qualcosa per come?
I couldn't think of something.
Mm-mm.
Oh, how do you make breakfast? Maybe come fai colazione? How,
Sì, sì, come fai colazione, va bene. Mhm. Right. I know that these are hard, but I think it gets you thinking. And one of the things that I might do with the homework is I might have you guys continue looking at this list and creating some more questions out of it. That way, next week, whenever we meet, we can do this when we see each other, we can ask each other questions. Yeah. Does that sound fun, helpful,
very
terrifying?
helpful. All the practice we can get helps, that's for sure.
Yeah. And like again, I just also want to let you guys know that like I come from like, you know, classes that I probably see like almost 5 days a week. And so like I really appreciate you guys being patient with me where, you know, like doing like a once a week class, I know that I'm still trying to get there, like to make sure. Like I realize that since we don't meet like several times a week, that again, some of these things we need to take more time on. And again, that's just the nature of the things when you do meet once a week. But I still think that you guys are doing great. You guys are still using this. You're putting things together. You're conjugating. In my opinion, you're conjugating really well, which is very hard. So,
Very slow.
but that's okay. As long as you're making progress, you guys are doing great. But yeah, and I'm learning as well as we go through these. And so I think that might be useful. What we'll do, I'll assign that for homework, just continuing with this. I might add some stuff to the list too, if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
More like possibilities. And then I'll also maybe have us do like another thing for homework. Again, conjugating well takes time and it takes lots of practice. So if you guys ever have anything in mind what you would like to do more, did anybody try doing like the maybe 2 to 5 sentences of what they do in the week? Did that seem helpful at all? Like get you at least thinking a little bit, putting it in context? Because sometimes I feel like whenever
Yeah.
you're just doing exercises, it's not putting it into context for you. And so I've found that with other students, they really like being able to write down at least like a couple things a day. And that helps. So
Do the same thing every day, but yes.
Aw, I think that's but you know, at least you'll get really
But
good
it,
at saying those things.
see, yes.
Ok, ci sono altre domande? No? Allora,
Mm-mm.
cosa fate stasera? Cosa fate? Pamela, tu mangi qualcosa stasera?
I have some lavora.
Ah, lavora ancora. Oh, ma poverina. Gini, invece tu cosa fai?
Legge il libro?
Ah, ok.
Oh,
Bene.
nice.
Quale libro?
Uh, Later
Later. Okay.
by Stephen King.
Ooh.
Oh, bello, Stephen King.
Yeah.
Courtney, invece tu cosa fai?
Oh, come si dice talk?
Parlo.
Parlo con tu.
Ah,
Ah,
è
sì.
giusto, sì, con me è giusto. Ok, allora, quindi secondo me per stasera finito. Buona serata e poi I'll send you the homework by tomorrow. Ok? Va bene?
Grazie.
Va bene.
Grazie. Ciao.
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 Ciao ciao, un abbraccio virtuale.
Ciao. Sì,
Oh,
sì.
sì.
Ciao. Yeah, so basically, thanks for staying on here. It won't take that long.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
I had mentioned that, Janine's situation. I feel like there's so many situations going on and
I
people
know.
with this class.
I
So it
know.
looks like that probably, I don't know for how long, but it might just be like the three of you guys for,
Oh no.
yeah,
I
like
mean, that's fine, but what happened?
things
How's
are
her husband?
fine. I know like Julie, she had mentioned that she is just so overwhelmed with like work and having her son and his family stay at her house that she's like, it's just really hard for me to even find time like to study. So
Oh,
it's
yes.
she said that she's going to try and pop in from time to time, but at this point it's just really hard. It's the same
Oh,
situation with Brad where he has a lot going on as well to where he's not able to put that much time into it. So they both asked
oh,
me to send them the videos and the
yeah.
homework and stuff that they can just do it on their own time. And Debbie's situation, well, Debbie, right? Like she isn't able to
Oh,
come because of her condition. So
oh.
Janine, I know like she wasn't able to make it tonight. I'm not sure when she'll be able to make it. Maybe hopefully she'll be back soon, but that's just
My,
kind of the situation where I just told them like, we're just going to go through the lessons, we're going to do it. It's just a weird year, a very weird
it is. It is. I feel so bad, especially some of those situations. Some are normal and some are
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so that's just again like the matter of it is on one side like for you guys you get more practice because well there's only three of you. But the other side I just feel bad that you guys won't get to have that class
Yeah.
atmosphere there. And so hopefully like that's not an issue at all.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not. I definitely, I feel really bad, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what you had said too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just again like it's just how it is. Like this is my first experience with the school and they said enrollment has just been down because of the year that we're living. And so I think that's just kind of everybody's lives are kind of just busy. And
Yeah.
so nothing's going to happen with class. It's not like that anything's going to happen. It's just so you guys know, like most likely for now, there might be the three of you when Janine is able to come back. It's probably just going to be the four of you for the rest of the semester.
That that affects me absolutely not at all.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that makes total sense. I just feel bad that
That they're not, I know, like I feel bad that it's like halfway through and I mean like
yes.
they only I think Julie and Brad, I mean they were only able to make it to I think like the first two or three and you pay for the whole 10 sessions.
I know.
I just hate that. I hate that.
Yes. Well, and I just, I want you to know too, you're doing a great job teaching. Like I'm actually grasping a lot of this and you're like giving lots of great tips. And I feel a lot of the other students too are giving good tips that they've learned. So I mean, I'm getting a ton from the class. So thank
Yeah,
you.
well, yeah, and that's like the other thing is like the ones that aren't able to make it anymore, they made it very clear that it's not because of them not getting anything from the class. So
I know.
I'm not worried about that. I just hate that, they
I
paid that
know.
money and they're not
Yeah.
able to make it. But
Well,
yeah, I mean, it'll still be fine.
yeah, and thank you for taking the time to talk with us about it. That was awesome. And I'm so sorry. You can probably hear it in my voice. Like I think I actually have laryngitis. I have no idea what is going on.
Oh, oh
My
no.
my son stayed home tonight from soccer. He was so not feeling good, and I'm not. I'm like, well, I'm fully vaccinated, so hopefully it's just like a cold because
Yeah, I had a fever on Sunday and I've been feeling kind of crappy the last couple days.
yes,
And I'm like, I've been vaccinated. I don't think it's that. I'm around like elementary kids though, like
yes
for at least like 4 days a week. So I just feel like, well, whatever they bring in.
is what you're bringing.
Yeah.
And yes,
Like you with your kids, I mean, I can only imagine.
well, we just started back up, as you know, with soccer
Yeah.
and a few other things that we had cut out. So I said, we haven't been around germs, like just cold germs in a year. So we're going to
Yeah.
probably be sick for the next year.
Oh yeah. Oh
Going to be
yeah.
like preschool all over.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of like what I thought. I'm like, now that school is all in, like,
Yes.
I know that I'm definitely gonna get sick. And
Yes.
so, but
Well, it's not
hopefully,
comforting to me that you're sick, but it is comforting to me because, like we just don't want to have anything. So
right,
I'm kind of glad.
exactly. Like, it's not just you, other people are
Yes.
experiencing it too. So, yeah,
Yes.
I,
Well, and thank you for the Duolingo. My children do that with me and
they really? Oh,
they
that's
love
awesome.
they love it. They're like, you need to download this for us. Did I properly add you?
Let me check. I actually need to go in and update that because I know I've only made one assignment for you guys in there, and I meant to make another one today. So let's
Well, and
check that.
I just don't think I'm very tech savvy. So I don't think I added you properly, or else I added you 50 times, or I added the wrong person. But I didn't notice anything, and I just wanted to ask if maybe you.
Which one are you? Because I see Jeannie Lena or
That's
Lena.
me. I picked a name, an Italian name I like, and I'm sure I spelled it wrong. I like the name Lena.
Oh, Lena. Lena, I think it should be Lina. Lena.
Yes. And then I did that before I realized that I was going to be listed as your student. And I was like, she's not going to know who this person is.
Yeah, I figured, well, there's like a couple other students with different names, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so
That's
so
me.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extend this because the assignment that I made was ended on the 28th, which is today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and extend it for another month because there's 7 different lessons in here.
Okay.
And then I will yeah, I'll continue to put some other assignments in there. How does it look to you whenever are you able to see the assignment that I
Well,
give?
so I'm in it right now. And right now it's saying like basics,
Uh-huh. That's just
plurals.
that's just the normal.
I had a
I think
feeling.
what email is your Duolingo connected to?
Let's see. Let me go to my settings really fast. It's to my Yahoo, the one that I had originally signed up for.
Okay, so you said that you don't check that one that often, right?
No, should I do my Gmail?
Yeah, can you switch it to your Gmail because then like whenever I extend an assignment and stuff like that, it'll send you an email and I think you should be able to click on it and go to the
Okay.
assignment that way. Or I don't know. I need to play around with it more because I thought it was going to be more user friendly, but I think it's relatively new to where they still haven't worked out the kinks and they're still, you know, experimenting themselves with this whole classroom thing. Because I have talked to other students where they're like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't really see your assignment.
Yeah, I
Well,
just thought it was me. And then something changed one day and I thought, well, maybe, but it didn't look like it was an assignment from our class. So,
yeah. Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, I extended it. I'm probably going to go in here and put a couple more like activities in the
Okay.
next week.
I'm
'Cause
trying to change.
sometimes I'm afraid that I like uh assign too much. And so just like adding more to the Duolingo, I don't know, people are probably like, oh, Celia. Uh
Okay. I'm trying to update my profile information. I'll have my husband. He'll help me. He'll figure it all out.
okay.
It just keeps popping back to my other one, but I know he'll know how to do that. Perfect. Well, thank you so very much. And I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I do appreciate you looking into that. And I think that all the assignments and stuff have been super helpful.
Good.
So for that.
Good. I'm glad to hear. Last my first session I sent out like a survey when you weren't a part of the class yet, and so I'm plan on doing it this time though, to send out the survey again just to get some feedback. You know,
Yeah.
it's always helpful because I had talked to the school. I'm like, do you guys do stuff like that just so you can see like what students think? And they're like, no, we've never done that, but you can do it if you want. And I'm like, all right.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's definitely helpful. Yeah, that's awesome. Although I think everything's good. I don't have anything to add. I'm like,
Okay.
that's
Okay,
great.
good.
Yeah,
Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. That helps.
I
I
am.
know my teaching style is probably a little different than what people are used to, but I feel like whenever you're able to kind of try and figure it out on your own and not just me telling you this is what this is and this is how you use it, I feel like
Yes.
in the end it helps a lot more. You learn
It
a lot
does.
more.
And it's like a lot of it is what you said too. It's just, it's going to get there,
Yeah.
like the more that you use it, you'll just eventually get there. I surprised myself on a couple of things that I got right. And it was like, how did my brain pull that out of there? Like, I don't know that, but like, it just came out and I'm like, what? I didn't know that I knew that. Not that I
Yeah.
know, but
That's awesome.
yeah.
Always
So
good to hear.
yeah. Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
I have one that fell asleep listening to our class, so I'm gonna go lay him down.
Oh, I love it.
I
Okay.
know.
Well, you
Thank you
guys have
so
a
much.
good night.
You too. Good night. Ciao.